an ordinance defining pre-approved payment of claims as per IC code 36-5-4-12. Ordinance number 3-2012D, an ordinance amending utility reconnect fees. All ordinances were read, and as there were no objections, Board Member Kermit King made a motion that all 4 ordinances be passed on first reading. Wayne Levels is seconded. A motion was made by Kermit King to suspend the rules on ordinance number 3-2012A, number 3-2012B, number 3-2012C, number 3-2012D. This ordinance was seconded by Lane Lovelace and then was unanimously voted on by Dwight Nilsson. All ordinances were read for the second time. A motion was made by Kermit King and seconded by Lane Lovelace to pass the above ordinances on the second reading by title only. This ordinance was made unanimous by vote of Dwight Nilsson. Resolution number 4-2012-1, a resolution authorizing the transfer of funds and amounts into the general fund. Edit Fund, $41,389.45. Riverboat, $5,976.42. CCI, $1,303.23. Clerk mentioned that the town had received a contract from Modestet Law Firm. A motion was made by King and seconded by Lovelace to hire Modestet Law Firm to represent the town as our attorney. The vote was made unanimous by vote of Nilsson. All 3 board members signed the contract. Dwight Nilsson made a motion of a former issue in regards to the former resolution number 2012-1 to hire Bill Pirtle for the sum of $2 per week as a consultant to assist with grants. This resolution was never implemented per suggestion of Charlie Pride with State Board of Accounts. Nilsson said he wanted to amend the former resolution and request it read as follows. Bill Pirtle to be hired as an employee of the town of Dugger for the sum of $50 per month to assist the town board members in obtaining grants and other duties. A motion was made by King and seconded by Nilsson. Lovelace opposed the motion. Town council officially voted per motion of King to hire employees as summer help to mow the cemetery. One employee will work 16 hours per week and the other will work 35 hours per week. The salary will be $9 per hour and will be distributed from the cemetery fund. The wage and salary ordinance shall be amended to note this change. Nilsson seconded this motion and Lovelace's vote made the motion unanimous. Lovelace mentioned his endeavors in trying to get new businesses to come to Dugger, which would hopefully generate new employment opportunities. Nilsson mentioned that he is seeking to repair the damaged school advertisement sign by the Ball Diamond. Mention was made that the newly formed Dugger Improvements Group would like to hold a festival to help boost community spirits. This festival is scheduled to be May 5th. Lovelace made a motion of upcoming blood drive on April 14th. King made a motion to pay the claims. Lovelace seconded. The claim docket was signed by all board members. King made a motion to adjourn and Lovelace seconded. Motion was passed and the meeting was adjourned.
All those in favor? Minutes read.
Make a motion that the minutes be signed as read.
I'll second.
Agreed. Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Well, we gotta have, let's see. Old business, what do we got here? What do you got for us tonight?
I have a few things for
Okay.
the apartments.
Good.
I gave you all a packet just to kind of update you on the overall project
Sure.
since you're kind of new to it. We received some good news from Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. We received the grant for $785,000 which is a large majority of the funds that we will need to finish that grant, finish that
Okay,
project.
it was tentative and now it's permanent.
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
That is correct. We still have to secure one more grant in order to have all the funding for the project. So we advise that we don't spend any of these funds until we get that other grant
Sure.
secured. And the last page of your packet has a breakdown of those funding sources
Yeah.
and how they'll be spent.
Yeah, I looked at that a little while ago.
It also shows the donation from the county and the donation of the
Yeah.
land value. So I'll start with the grant agreement from Indiana Housing. There's several places for you to sign. There's a resolution for you to pass on who is authorized to sign.
Mhm.
Typically, it is the council president and the clerk treasurer. But that's up to you. I can change that, but that's how I filled it out. That authorizes both of you to sign on claims, semi-annual reports, and that sort of thing. I have marked all of the spots. Dwight will sign virtually all of these except for the resolution. The resolution will require a vote and passing, and then all three board members will sign there. I'll pull that one out so that you all know. But Dwight will sign the rest of them. Actually, I take that back. Michelle gets to sign one. You get to sign the bank one. Yay! This one's where the funds will come to. So you may want to take that back and fill in the routing numbers and stuff. And then you get to sign as a signer and also the tax form. So there's three, sorry, for that you get to sign. So this first one is the actual grant agreement. There's 2 spots for Dwight to sign. Do you want to do a motion to pass these as a whole so that you can sign, or do you want to do them individually, or it's up to you all?
As a whole, be done with it.
I'll just make a motion that we pass it as a whole, because we already know, all three of us already know what it is.
Okay.
Now, will this finalize this grant?
This finalizes the IHCDA portion. Shall I write it down? Want me to open the door? Oh, okay. This is the $785,000. This is a large majority of the funding required for the grant. We are applying for another grant for $250,000 from Federal Home Loan Bank. We will submit the application yet in May. We won't find out until September if it's funded.
Do we yet to know who these funds are gonna go to, who's going to do the construction, engineering, and that kind of things?
The engineering has been procured. Chris Jobe is the engineer on the project. The construction will be bid out after the funds are secured. And we have a timeline here. We're hoping, to bidding to be from December to January for this year to next. So there will be probably a month or 2 bidding period where qualified contractors can bid. Hope to award the contract in February of next year, and the rehabilitation then a 1-year period, March to April of 14. Hopefully it won't take that long, but.
Can you tell us what this will cost the town overall, if anything?
The only thing we're proposing from the town is they've secured or been pre-qualified for a $50,000 loan from First Financial Bank. It will be repaid. The payments will be paid over a 10-year period from the rents that come from the project. So.
And what if we don't get rents in this project?
If you don't rent the units?
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of strong evidence that we will rent those
Well,
units,
what if we
otherwise we
don't?
wouldn't be getting the funding.
What if we don't? What will it cost the town if these aren't
The
rented?
payment's
in?
like $565 a month on that. So that would be, if you had no one at all living there. 2 people would cover that payment.
And how
2
long
of
before
10.
we would make a profit off this as a town?
As soon as those
Immediately,
units
what would
are
that be?
What utilities does that include?
for
For
utilities for the 10.
$560 in Dugger, what utilities would that include?
No, that's the payment that Dugger has to pay
Oh.
for that $50,000 loan.
Okay, so what rent are you?
These
and
rents
does
are-
that include the utilities?
$391 is the rent payment. Tenants pay all utilities.
And that's a flat rate for anybody that's gonna rent it, or how's that based?
It is flat rate, it's already set.
So everybody that rents it's gonna get it for $391.
It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
Pretty reasonable,
I think so.
pretty reasonable.
Okay.
Angie?
Yes.
The county's going ahead and probably bid, we'll go ahead and do the water,
Okay,
you know, because they're paying for that. And you know, the price I got, which these guys know was $44,000, but it has to be bid over there. So this summer, we can go ahead and put the water in, we just can't do the service until we secure the $250,000.
So the county's gonna do all the water?
Yeah.
the county donated.
Because they took off about $140,000 worth.
So it won't cost us anything to have a water ran out there?
Actually, it's a really good deal for it.
Yeah, it's, you'll be receiving over $1.2 million for a $50,000 loan, so I think that weighs out pretty well for the town.
And the loan don't start being paid back till the apartments are full and.
Well, it's when you close on the loan, so once you draw down that $50,000 is when you would turn that over to permanent financing. You try to lock that in when your interest rate is best, and the bank works with
The
you on
outfit we're
that.
using is out of Sullivan to take care of all this.
Yeah, it's First Financial Bank, and we've been working with Mike and Pete at Sullivan, yeah.
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, sorry.
The ones that's overseeing this, like Mickey does up there and stuff.
Oh, the apartment management, yeah,
yeah.
Brownwood, Small and Hinkle
Right.
has agreed to partner with us for the management, and they've been managing the Shelburne apartments for probably 30 or more years, so they've done at the Shelburne Apartments, they did a Federal Home Loan Bank grant application and funding, and they also did home grant, so they're familiar with that process as well.
What do they charge the town say each month or each year to do
It's
that?
dependent upon the units that are rented, so they get a portion of the units that are rented. I've talked generally with Jerry Woodsmall about their scope of what we would ask them to do, which would be the client intake, the income verifications, the lease signing, collection of rent, paying of bills, bringing any issues before the town council. So it's a slightly different clientele. They're used to dealing with seniors and a not-for-profit council, but there are similarities there. So we would just work through any changes that we need to at that point. But to answer your question, we have the cost of that service built into the operating budget, so the rents would pay for that, the town would not pay for that.
Do they, so per se, if someone decides they want to skip out on rent, they take care of all
They
non-
do have
non-payment?
resources to help with the eviction processes. Yeah.
Actually, Angie,
Yes.
may I say something? We haven't had, I've taken care of the Dugger apartments for 12 years, and I probably maybe had a total of 8 people, maybe in that 12 years, to skip out and not pay. All you have to do is take them to small claims court. It costs you nothing to take them to small claims court. They have to pay everything, and so it doesn't cost the apartments anything.
And that's if they leave without paying.
That's right.
rent.
And even our apartments, I may have 2 or 3 vacant, but in probably a month to 2 months, I have 5 people call me, need those apartments right away. So there's not a big vacancy there either.
How much do the apartments cost up there?
They're based on income. They're anywhere from 300 to 221. But those are 1-bedroom apartments. The 2-bedroom apartments are 330, I believe.
And to live there, you have to be either senior or
You have to be-
disabled,
right.
right? And here, this would be for
Anybody.
individuals or families also.
Do I have another? Yes, sir.
You got a whole
Oh.
pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, Did you
Yeah.
complete the motion?
Yeah, good.
There's 2 spots marked on the grant agreement.
Yeah, they want to go to show them.
Okay, it's like on the planning grant? Okay. Just fill this out where you want it to go, and that's where it will go. So if you want it to go in the grant fund, fill it out for that. If you want it to go into the general fund, fill it out for that.
Those you have that, and I'll give this one back to you later.
Well, there's only 2 of them I have to sign.
2 on that one, and then these are, they don't apply, but they still require a signature. This would be if you were to pay someone from your payroll, which
Yeah.
you're not, so
Yeah.
you'll just sign here.
Yeah.
And this would be if you had a subrecipient, which you do not, so you'll just sign there. It's not applicable.
Right.
Yeah, we can do background check. Yeah, we'll do background check. These two idiots will just take me for granted.
This one's an authorized contact.
Oh.
I put Bill down as the authorized contact for the town.
Sure.
Myself down as the grant administrator, so you'll
Right.
just sign now. And then this is the resolution. What this says is that you're authorizing the application and the receipt of funds, and you're giving authority to 2 people to sign on those claims.
Right.
The way I filled that in is for Dwight and Michelle to be able
Michelle.
to sign it, and I can change that. But that's
These are the
required
ones
for
for
your
the
motion.
contractors and stuff that will be coming in.
Right, when we
doing the
draw
work
funds
and-
down, there's a claims process, so someone will have to approve that claim. So you have 2 people for, you
And we'll be
actually
working
don't
with,
have to sign that part, you'll sign back here. That's okay. So you guys will want to pass that.
We'll
where
be
you can
working
all
with
3
Chris
sign.
on this part of it. Joe, he'll be,
He will be your architect and engineer. He'll sign off on the contractor's payment
Right.
applications, but there will still be a claim for you all to
oh,
sign
okay,
off.
all right. Okay. Who else signed on this one?
All 3,
All 3.
yes. Sure, I got all.
So this is for what?
This is for
Claims.
claims on all this.
Yeah, authorizing
start.
2 people to sign on claims for this grant. And the way that the form I filled it out, typically it's
What
your
if only
clerk
2 sign?
treasurer. I think it has to be the board as a whole.
Oh, well,
That's so the contractors can get paid when they bid.
It is the board as a whole. It's
What if
not
he
a
refuses?
majority or, huh?
What if he refuses?
Then we will refund the entire grant to Indiana Housing.
Good choice.
You have them sign it right now.
Didn't sign your part of it. See.
I guess finally you better vote.
So, you have a choice, my friend. Yes or no?
No.
Any votes against it? There you
Well,
go.
anybody that wouldn't want $1 million or something wrong.
Something's wrong here.
Something's wrong, I mean, be sure to get that in the paper instead of not, because
Yes.
this would take care of a lot of people.
This can't be handled by the majority, it has to be the full board.
I can go back and double check.
Why don't you go back and
but
double check
My
on it?
understanding is that it's the whole board. Just so you all know, I don't think the impact of this project can be realized if you haven't been working on it for 2 years,
Maybe it needs
like
to
Billy
be
and I
further
have.
explained to us.
This project could have an economic impact for the town of Dugger. If you add housing that isn't available here, you bring additional people to your community. That can also bring jobs, that can also bring money, that can bring people coming to the restaurants downtown.
To the school.
It can mean people coming to the school. We've looked at all of the apartments in Sullivan and Linton. For
Anybody want $1
families,
million
there are not apartments
Hey, I just
available.
wanna know what it's about. I haven't been told, you know, I asked these gentlemen and they say they don't know. I'm listening to this lady tell me. I think all of us would like to know. I think it might need to be further discussed to all of us. Maybe these gentlemen need to talk about it a little further, because as far as I know, these men have told me they didn't know much about it as of the last meeting. So I think all we're saying is maybe it needs to be further discussed before Lane wants to vote on it.
How many, wait just a minute, wait a second. How many in this room, last meeting, was it the place up there that got 1, 2, 3 or 4 right now, that's in the little rental up there right now? That's in here, in this building?
What's that have to do with anything?
Well, if we didn't have them, where would they be?
Well, what about that? They can vote or decide however they
Well,
want.
where would they
Because they accept,
How many people we got up there right now, Vic?
that doesn't, because they accept money from the state doesn't make them any less valid than what they
Can the
say.
vote be tabled?
What I'm saying is, if we
It
get
doesn't
them out there,
matter, they have the
people.
same say as anybody else. It doesn't matter where they live.
I thought only
doesn't matter
two.
I'm
what else.
saying the matter where they live, I'm talking about their group of people.
Lane?
I don't even, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's something
There
I don't
is,
feel like it's good for
there,
the town.
just so you all know, there's a grant application deadline May 23rd for federal home loan bank. If we don't apply, it's a whole another year before we can ask for the money again. If we don't have Indiana Housing on board for that, we won't get federal home loan bank. So it was very important to get that grant at the timing where we got that grant. We talked about timing, things happen for a reason. My goodness, we got this just in time to apply for $250,000 to federal home loan bank. Without that huge award, we wouldn't even have an opportunity. The town has a huge opportunity. I work across the state on these grant programs, and these types of opportunities do not come along. They don't just get handed to you. Dugger has pursued grant upon grant upon grant and received grant upon grant to the betterment of the town. It's not ever been detrimental to the town for any of those grant programs. So that being said, I won't say anymore. It is up to you all, but I think it would be a huge mistake.
I have a question.
Yes.
I wanted to know from Lane, what I'm missing in the equation of understanding. I mean, you have a right to say you don't want to vote for it, and that's fine, but I don't know why is it that you don't. Is it because you need more information, and if so, is there a better way to have a meeting with these guys to
I'm just not
express
sure
those?
that it's, on down the road, who's gonna be doing the upkeep on this, and where's this gonna lie as far as coming back on the town and stuff?
Lane Sullivan has got high rises, Linton is plumb full, they've got them. We got 22 in Dugger that we got people waiting on. I just want, where's the salt and pepper? I just want to go on record, and I want my name put in there, that I'm sorry that I ever went out and worked for Lane, when he can sit there and don't want $1 million after everybody's done it.
I got a question. What's the bare minimum consequence if this thing goes belly up? What happens to the town if this project goes belly up?
You won't ever get it again.
Anybody will take the ground back.
So we won't have to pay anything if this, our loan defaults that we
We're
borrowed.
not going to pay anything now.
I'm saying then, if no one wants to rent these apartments, then, or, who knows?
There is a-
We haven't been told any of the consequences or anything. All we're told is you want this, it's good, that's it. And you're not,
There is
people wouldn't
a-
have questions if we knew.
There's a 15-year agreement with Federal Home Loan Bank. They have to rent them to the income level that is proposed in the application, which is 40% and 50% of the area median income. They have to abide by HUD rents. They have to report annually who they're renting to. If they don't do those things, Vicki can vouch for that, they will ask you for those things, but they can ask for their money back. So that's why the town has worked with Brownwood, Small, and Heacle to do those things so that they're not being defaulted upon.
I work with Brown and Wood Small and Heath myself.
USDA speaks highly of them. I mean, I think that they are a great partnership for this project. This takes a lot of the liability off the town. I don't think Michelle can handle that property management aspect of it, so you hire a person so that they can take care of that. With Indiana Housing, it's 20-year commitment. They're the ones giving the larger portion of the grant. So after that 15 years and 20 years, they don't have to report. Those grant funds can't be requested back after that point. We've set this up to where it will cash flow, it will pay for itself. It puts money into a reserve account each year so that there's a buildup of funds to pay for when the roofs need to be replaced down the road. Or there's an operating reserve for $23,000 to be put into that right off the bat. So say we do have a period of vacancy, those funds can be used to pay the electric bills or to pay for the grass to be mowed. So there are fail-safes in there. It's not to say that it can't fail, but we've done our best, and Indiana Housing reviews these to be sure that it's not going to fail. They don't want to put $1 million into a failed project. My goodness, what a bad reputation the state would get for doing that. So they look at those things, they measure those things, and if they don't meet their requirements, they don't fund it.
How
So
come we
we
were
wouldn't have.
previously denied for this grant? We had to push to get it. Why did the state think it was such a bad idea in the first place?
We made some additions, like adding Brownwood, Small and Hinkle. We revised some of our building plans. They wanted to see more green development, more energy efficient components, so Chris worked on that. We will be meeting the National Home Builders Association green standards. So we made some improvements to it so that it was something that they wanted to fund. It was never an issue of whether it was going to cash flow or that the units couldn't be rented. It was a matter of, add these things to make it more appealing to our goals.
Is this a matter with Mr. Lovelace as far as him thinking possibly he can get this ground for a nursing home?
No.
I was gonna say, because this ground is only for
My understanding is that the ground that Peabody donated is for affordable.
Like
housing,
Gary Joe
housing
said,
development.
he was asking about, once we get the surge and we get the water, we can sell lots to individuals to buy. And anybody that sits here and says, we fixed up 81 houses, that these grants are no good, and we fixed up 81 houses for probably people sitting in here, it's the same thing. And when you say that, anybody says that that's no good when you help 81 people, go ahead.
And what I really said, I mean, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, what I really said was, of course, it's tied up with the coal company, so technically it's really not our land, period.
It is.
Well, our land with stipulation.
It's deeded to the town of Dugger.
But with stipulation, you just said so.
No.
Well, okay, then why not forget the low housing and sell lots
Well,
without
we
the
can't do
housing?
anything, Gary, till we get the surge and the water up there.
That was my question.
Yeah.
In fact,
And
we
we
were,
But to get the
Denise was
sewage,
asking about property.
That is part of the overall
Haley.
plan,
Haley,
is
is
to
that right?
generate
Haley.
funds from some of the
Haley.
land.
You know, she was
There is a coal
There is a
village,
need, that's what I'm trying to say.
there's a coal village plan that we developed. It's 5 phases of development. Part of it is apartments for low, moderate income individuals, but then there's also a homeowner phase where we will sell some of the lots, we will develop some of the lots, and sell those to.
But we were never informed of that.
There were public meetings for these plans.
But if you're going, I understand that.
A situation like shelter.
Oh, I'm not against that.
Move in next to that.
We just wanna know.
And we can even, Angie, we can even build through Indiana Housing, can't we? We can apply for a house that's $125,000. You live there, say 12, 15 years, I don't remember what it is. Half of it's paid, and the other half you have to pay
It's
for,
up to
say, $150,000 house, you get it for $75.
subsidy.
It's just like the housing grant, you live
But
there so
if we
many.
were to have been told some of this, just like this, if we were to have been told some of this, and maybe it wasn't some of the meetings I wasn't at, I don't know, but what I'm saying is, the questions were asked in the last 3 months, or the last 2 months, they asked the board, what does it entail? We couldn't get any information out until tonight. That's what, I think
Now
that's the
they're
problem.
signing, so, you know.
You know, I think that's where there's.
Did you really expect the brand new board to know all the answers?
Well, but you had
We didn't
somebody that
know.
could've.
We didn't know. We really didn't. But we're learning.
You guys have a lot to learn as new board members. I mean, yeah, this is a large project and it is
Yes.
a lot of details. And anytime you have questions about what we've done in the past, how we're proceeding forward, by all means, let me know. I didn't know there were issues tonight, or I would have been more prepared.
Yeah.
I was an exception.
Yeah, my blood drive was, was never.
So does there have to be a proposed purpose to get the grant? Does there, it has to be the housing to get the grant, it can't be
This
a
money
grant
is
to.
specifically for 10 apartments.
Sure.
It's very specific, and if we don't.
So this money
we don't
couldn't
need
be
to-
used to help divide the, see, okay, so that would have to be a whole different matter.
Right.
So,
Right. That's
and
part of
once,
the plan.
once we got it, would that be the town's property,
Yeah.
the whole land? So then we could sell it as
Yeah.
plots for
They'll
housing.
retain the part where the apartments are, that will be their own, and then that'll be divided off into parcels and they can be marketed and sold. And part of them can be part of a home buyer program for low and moderate income individuals as well, which we hope that tenants who come into these apartments can take part in home ownership counseling, budget counseling, and build their credit so that they can become home buyers. So it has a second purpose. Folks come into the apartments and maybe have a better potential for home ownership.
Thank you for
We have
coming up and explaining that. That was the questions that we had.
We have a partnership
Well,
with
if
First
this
Financial
works, we
Bank for
got
that.
another 50 acres right beside that.
That's almost
that we
50
can-
grand
that we
a year
can
we
get
could
off.
Now, will they be
Parks
Dugger
on-
taxpayers, the people who bought property
It's
there?
all in county taxpayers. That's in the county.
So it would be town
It's raising
property,
your tax
but
base, so it don't matter. It raises your tax base.
Raises your tax
So it's
base.
coming back.
Makes it
I understand that, but if I pay taxes, I want to have a say in.
Well, you're gonna be paying,
Higher sales value makes you a lower
inside the
rate.
city limit. This is taxes outside the city limit, but it still goes to the same thing. That's what lowers your rate.
Can you tell us
You
the
know what
five
they'd be
phases
paying county
again,
tax,
real
which
quick?
is
Yeah,
lower
there's
than
two
what
phases
you
of
pay.
apartments, 2 phases of home ownership.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
But
Mike.
that's all, we just want an explanation.
There's 2 phases of apartments, which would be 10 apartments each, for a total of 20. And there are 2 phases of home ownership with 10 lots proposed each. And then there's a phase for a community park, which would be not grant funded, but it would be funded by Community One. So we wanted folks to be there before we proposed anything for the community park. And then there is potential for additional land from Peabody Coal. It's kind of a unique opportunity.
That
You
other
get
40
land free.
40 some acres you're talking about,
Yes.
there's no stipulations on that. That's just property they're gonna give us, I understand.
The next,
The next phase of it.
at this time, they haven't set
No
stipulations. I don't
restrictions
know
on
if
it,
it's
as far as
just
we
for
can know about.
housing or, but I think that could probably be negotiated, and that's why I think that making this first step could be really important. Maybe
Yes.
they'll give you land for businesses, or maybe they'll give you land for other needs that you have other than just housing. So I think it could be a jumping point for some great opportunities. And you have a good partnership with the county, working with you. It's not in town limits. You have the county on that.
Sure.
Out of these 10 apartments, after everybody takes their cut and everything's paid, what is the profit per month for the town?
Right now, I have the operating budget. I have total rents around 46,000, and then I have expenses around 31,500. Then I have, so that's a net income of 8,440. And then debt service of $6,241. That's the $50,000 rent or debt payment on the $50,000. So in the first year would cash flow a little over $2,000. And that's paying for all of, that's after all of the expenses.
We're only gonna make $2,000 a year on this?
Okay, with grant programs, I can't show $50,000. They won't give you money
But
for
we're
that
gonna
because you
pay
can pay for it
$500
yourself.
for the grant.
So that will pay for your management.
That is
company.
actual, what you're saying.
That's, yeah, I have advertising, I have management fees, accounting, audits, paying for gas and water, electric, trash removal, maintenance and repairs, payrolls, operating reserves, replacement reserves, insurance, property taxes. So that's paying for everything that would be required for the apartments. Do
When
you
that's
cash
paid
flow
off in
anything
10
at
years.
Dugger Improvement?
You're gonna get
Do you cash flow?
So we're gonna make $2,000 a year off these new.
First year.
And in 10 years when they're paid off, what are we gonna be making off of them?
After 10 years,
That's when you start repairing.
I have
For a
the
10-year-old grant.
over $7,000 a year.
Yeah, 70 grand.
How much a year after 10 years?
7,000.
Yeah.
That's after expenses.
If
I don't think this is quite justifiable, it's $2,000 a year.
So you're looking at it as money making, not as a community service. Okay. The funds are community funds. They are not profit making.
Are you firm on
The
it?
fund, they are not gonna give you grants if you can show that you're gonna
But
make
it's not in the city
$7,000 a
limits
year.
is the thing.
Yeah.
Grant funds are, you have to justify the use of the funds. You know, if you can afford a loan payment, they're not gonna give you a grant. That would be using taxpayer money for something that they can pay
So
for
this
on
is
their own.
more benefit to the county than to the town, actually.
How's that?
You got the water bill they're gonna pay, you gotta have that in. You know, or you're gonna, you know, that's part of it.
It's
We're
a
gonna get some
benefit to
money.
the community.
The thing you gotta remember as a town, the way I
It's
see
pretty
it,
nice because you're running for county commissioner.
there's nowhere in Dugger to rent.
There you go.
There is nowhere in Dugger to rent. The low income, young couple starting out in life can't get a loan for a home. Been there, done that.
$391, pretty cheap.
I'll take a new home for that.
2-bedroom, you betcha.
Yes, sir. We can move in. Mine's for
You
sale.
bet.
It's out of sale and cheap. Mine's for sale.
I'd move in.
That's what I'm saying. There's nowhere to rent. You're not, you know,
We're throwing that
and
away.
there's about 4 houses in town to buy, if you can get the loan to buy.
It's never a project to make a bunch of money.
It's
To make a place for people to
improve
live.
the area.
The money will come from paying the water and sewage. It will come from selling the land. The new houses that
How
are built
much will
out.
we make on that? That's what we want to
I don't have a clue yet, but
How much?
It might cost us in the long run, is what we're looking at.
These let me tell you something. The apartments up there was built in '74 for $125,000 at 6% interest, and see what they're making right now. People would not have.
we don't get it done.
That's low income apartments. These are not.
The same,
So you're saying the low-income people are-
They still haven't crossed the county. They haven't crossed
Nobody
the
give me
county.
credit. The county can put the water in like.
You're kind of doing.
you're not gonna build nothing out there till the infrastructure's there. Gas, water, lights, nothing will go out there. Nobody can afford it on their own.
Well, Hall Valley Gas wanting to put in gas right now and help us pay. Duke Energy's wanting to come, everybody's wanting in there.
Same problem Wallace has got. Cost too much to put water and sewage and electric back there.
We're gonna get to pay them for nothing out there.
It sounds like a fail-safe plan.
Well, it
for
doesn't sound like we're going to, because
Right, yeah.
one board member does not want it.
Something else.
He may not be there very long.
Plus we have to put $2,000 in a reserve account.
That's what it is. It is what it is.
It's really sad. You can manipulate the board any way you want.
And there's,
Is that what you're saying?
Bill, I'm not even talking to you.
I
So
wish
listen,
you would.
hey, just be sure
No,
that
it's sad
you put in
that one
there.
person can take that much away from the town, that's
No,
what I
he just
think.
said he could manipulate that board to put who he wanted on
No,
there.
he didn't.
He said he may not.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to know the truth. I'm sorry, I did.
You're sorry, all right.
Yeah, well,
you're
don't
sorry.
you worry about it, 'cause nobody's worried about you. But I'll tell you what, you applied for one of them grants. Carolyn won one, I tried to get you one.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. You lived in a Mazda and had the wrong number and you couldn't get one. That's the reason you didn't get it.
All right, I don't care about that.
never say nothing about that. Nothing at all.
Don't say anything
Can I say
else.
something?
The hell with you, I'll speak anything I want.
I don't care what you say.
Hey, may I say something?
Go right ahead.
Well, Mr. Settles is so,
Oh, we got somebody else over there.
oh, I'm
I
sorry.
didn't, it was all talking, I couldn't figure out who was talking
Go
about.
ahead.
Debbie.
Step up,
I think
Debbie.
the reason they're worried about money is because what we have heard that you guys assumed, you didn't make it, was a $60,000 or $65,000 debt from last year. So to me, that shows, you know, it's not working, you know. We're not making money somehow. So I think, I don't know, I haven't talked to Lane, have I, about any of this. It's like now we're jumping in another debt we could end up with down the road, you know.
Which ones
And
went
it's
down the road,
scary.
Dad?
You know,
What are you talking about went down the road?
Why are we 60,000 in debt, what she's saying?
Because,
Every town will be in debt.
I'll tell
It's not made to
you,
make
every
money.
town in the county is in
$10
debt.
million in
You
16
can go
years.
to any
But
town
I know how it works.
in the county and you can ask and find out how much they're in debt. Okay? How
We're
much-
addressing that issue.
How much
I'm
did
telling you,
we
we're gonna
pay
address that issue
to
in our
train someone?
next, what do you call that?
That's probably your 60,000
No,
right there that you're in debt.
no, I called and talked to Winton Town. They have an accountant that is there every day, 5 days a week. He's not on.
Hey,
not-
you're about
How
as
much do we
dumb.
pay our guy to advise our town?
You'd have to be done, Meredith.
How much do we pay that, whatever a CPA is?
I advise you to be quiet.
Wow. You
Hey, you
know.
advise me
That's what I
anytime you want to
But they spend their
say.
money
That's what I would advise. That's what I would advise.
Yeah, you're not.
The only thing I had to say whenever I stood up a while ago was what I wanted to say was, when Mr. Settles comes to town, you ask him who helped him get his water line put in.
I put it in
When he's going to town, you put it
I
in
put it in
yourself.
myself, you didn't do a damn thing.
Who took your tree out and then who took your stuff out?
My town did that, I say that's right. Then who snuck around and tried to fire my wife behind her back with a bunch of crap?
What's on that, bud?
You did. What about the water line?
Every meeting.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking to somebody else, I'm not
Michelle, did they find the water, did they find the money for the signs?
Well, if you all listen, hold on, we'll talk about it.
But Bill was accusing
I didn't accuse
I'm not a big gal.
I think you should probably look
Everybody, please, calm down.
Hold on here.
Good luck tomorrow on the campaign.
Excuse me, what was that?
I said good luck tomorrow
Oh,
on the
yeah, right.
campaign.
Oh, give us a life, Michelle.
I'll give you some water.
That's a low blow. That's a low blow.
You probably wouldn't be in here if it hadn't been for Billy working.
Praise the Lord. It's a good job. Love it.
Yeah, it is when you make your own hours and you make your own.
I wouldn't go there,
When you hear
Ricky.
people's water money too.
You make your own hours.
I wouldn't go there, honey.
I wouldn't go there. I'm the one, you're the one that makes your own hours.
I wouldn't go there.
Oh, I would go
Well,
there, Michelle. I know exactly
just
what
let her
you've
go
done.
home.
Might as well.
And anybody can turn down that money.
Good day.
Listen to the thief.
I make a motion with adjourn.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Let's go home.
No, wait a minute. I got a stone down in the cemetery. I got a place on my father's stone, the whole thing's been knocked off. I want to cut back.
You know, the pot comes by, roll call. I'm gonna back teach
You can vote however you want. You don't get it. This is the United States of America. Like I told you, both of them served our country. You gotta get equal.
I I don't blame her for getting upset. About days ago. Yeah. I don't give a crap about the rest of this. I went down there and put flowers on Dave's grave. Yes, they should. He's called them. Well, we saw it all, but gone. Well, it's the same thing. No. People don't know what he's doing. No, that's why I'm sorry, girl. Well, that's what we do. I don't want no part of it.
Go out there. See, just stand in there. We're gonna end up in a big ass board.
Well, you all know. I can tell some stories on that one, boy. I mean, start from the biggest been all this year.
Don't defend the paper.
I would have said, Carol, your brother had been in
No,
there.
it's awful.
Oh, hell, I got jokes for you people.
You ain't got nothing for us.
Oh, shut up.
They work so hard to
Gene
get.
heard them in their life.
No. Gene was over the park.
No, he was down there.
No, he was not.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Were you there?
Yes, I was.
You were in there too.
I was called.
Okay, show me
Don't get
your
Show me my ass.
Hey, calm down.
Well, keep her fat mouth out of her face.
You can get disorderly just the same, ma'am.
She is.
Calm down. It's a public meeting.
Oh, well, tell her.
I just did.
Tell her.
You did?
I'm talking to Dottie, not her.
I just did.
I'm not talking to her, I'm talking to Dottie. I'm telling you, she was not all upset. She was out driving around Dottie right after that.
All that doesn't.
That is a lie. That is a lie.
You don't want to. You take your best. You don't need that.
If they don't appreciate it, come on. Come on. Meetings and like trips. I'm supposed to return it, but I have to, come on. Submit this application.
Let him go.
Which would have had more.
We don't want to.
You don't want that, Joe.
I don't want to go to jail either. Let's just say you're here.
So,
Yeah.
I got it too. Come on.
it's not, I don't know. Sounds pretty scrutiny unless they're gonna call a special meeting, especially for this.
I know.
If they're not gonna approve it tonight, then.
Let's just everybody go.
Well, I don't want to close it later. Do you want me to, can I give you a call? Like a couple hours?
Yeah, let me, actually, if you wanna call me tomorrow, I'll see if I can get more definite answers on what we can do.
Okay. Well, there's gonna be, I'm gonna do a sort of night, and I'll just use what was in the meeting to give you a chance. This started